Hello friends, welcome to Blue Heron Hill. I'm Sue and we're here on the 1st of August. I am in my bean arbor. It's such a joy to be in here under this shaded cattle panel. It's actually 2 cattle panels wide and it fits very nicely in my 4 by 8 foot bed. And once these beans have grown all the way and met both sides to the top, it's so refreshing to be in here. It's big beans. They just hang down and they're so easy to pick. Anyway, a garden tour for August. So I just wanted to show you what has been growing, how things have been growing in July, now that we're here in August. August is a full-blown harvest month. I also have to say that it's also the start of my fall gardening. Things are going to start to go into the garden, into these raised beds that I have harvested completely, and they're bare and they need to be filled up so I can get another harvest in the fall. So come on, let me show you what's been going on. So here is my bean arbor. Usually I have both full panels all planted with beans on both sides. That gives me an incredible crop of beans. But this year I decided to trellis up some melons. And these are Kajuri melons. Lots and lots of flowers. But so far I've not seen any melons at all. This is my first noticeable female flower that you can tell it has the large swollen ovary at the bottom, and hopefully that's been pollinated and I will get one melon at least. Once this starts swelling, I'm going to have to provide some kind of a support because these melons will get quite heavy and I'm not sure that the stem will be able to hold it. As I am peeking through the beans, there is another melon. So I'm doing well. I have 2 and I am sure there's going to be more. I think I even see another one. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So I have melons on this side. I also have some melons on this side. They're rather small. I don't see any fruit starting to develop. These are midget cantaloupe. And as I hit this is cinnamon basil. Oh, if you could smell it. It's really great. We've had very hot temperatures and I've been planting my basil under this arbor. You can see on this side there's some more. I think this might be Thai basil here. Yep, that's Thai basil. And basil under here, which helps out in this hot, hot sun so the basil doesn't bolt so quickly. Over here in this bed, I have carrots. They are still, this first row of carrots here may be close to harvesting. I would really like to get these harvested. These other rows over here don't look like they're ready at all. I've had such a hard time with carrots, but lots of other things are growing very well in the garden. On this side, I took out lettuce and I have replanted some more beans here. These are, I think they're, oh yes, they are yellow wax beans here. tomatillos everywhere in the garden. Oops, there's one there. This is a Candyland tomato. It is not doing as well. It has its own drip irrigation to it, so it has plenty of water to it, but it certainly isn't as prolific as I did last year. So maybe in pots is not such a good thing. This tomato over here is an Abbey tomato. It's, I think, a pink variety of tomato. It's an heirloom, and it has lots of tomatoes, lots of blossoms, and it's a very tasty tomato. I had it today, my first one. Here is a good crop of carrots. These are definitely close to harvest time. Within the next week, I will be pulling all these out so I can start a new batch of carrots. So they'll have time to mature. Maturity for carrots, you can get some as early as a 55-day carrot, or even those that are 70-day carrots. But if you've never tried a carrot that's being harvested in late September, early October, or even into the more winter months, it's quite a treat because they sweeten up with the cold. These two beds here are both empty, both being prepped for winter gardening. Brassicas in both of these beds. They will have a cloth over the top, an insect netting over the top on both of these because those cabbage butterflies are still prevalent up until September, when the weather starts to get cooler. Now, going through this door, this is the main garden. And this is my pepper parkway going down here, but as you can see, I do have a great catch of dill here. And I'm just waiting till my cucumbers start to catch on to be able to make some dill pickles. These seeds I just broadcast wherever I thought I had a space. My peppers aren't looking all that good, although I do have some really nice looking peppers. The plants themselves are a little skimpy, but the harvest on them, I think, is really so far pretty substantial. I've been pulling off jalapenos here. These are jalapenos. I've got a number on there. Oh, look at this one. Oh, we have a little munchkin going on there. And this baby one. There's a baby one here that's turned red. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of harvesting. A lone lettuce. Most of my lettuce has been pulled out because it's bolting. I'm starting my fall lettuce crop downstairs in my grow room. I have a Juliet tomato here. I have some Hungarian hearts, which is an heirloom, kind of a beefsteaky, heart-shaped tomato there. And the rest of them down here are Jet Stars. Nice sized tomatoes, but the plants themselves are a little on the skimpy side. I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna, I didn't give them enough fertilizer or something. But the tomatoes themselves are very nice. At the end of my tomato row, this is potatoes. And these are starting to yellow. I think I'm going to wait to harvest these until the foliage has completely died off. I hope you got a chance to see the other video where I harvested with my interns my red potatoes. They were in my raised garden bed. Here is this whole row here are cherry and grape tomatoes. These on the end are midnight snack, and I don't know if this shows up very well, but they have a very pretty bottom. They'll get ripe, they'll turn red on the bottom. They're very purpley because they're in the sun. If they were in the shade, they wouldn't get shoulders as dark as this. Next one up here is, these are sun golds, my favorite, sweetest cherry tomato in the world. I have a couple plants of those. This is a prairie fire. Beautiful striping on that tomato. Couple plants of those. This one is called a sweet cherry, I think it is. And they usually turn a little bit. Here's a few here. They're a little bit orangey. Next door, there's another one. You can see these are a little riper. They'll get just a little redder, not too much though. Now these right here are called, black strawberry. They are just gorgeous, and they have a very nice flavor too. When the bottoms really red up, that's when they're ripe. Like here's one here that's getting ripe. They are just picture perfect. They're so beautiful. First year growing these. Here's another cluster of those black strawberries. More tomatillos everywhere. Some are coming out from last year. My row of celery is doing just fine. I harvest a few of them. You can pull up here and you can just take from the outside and let the inside continue to grow. See, these are black turtle beans. They're just flowering now. These will be a dried black bean that will be harvested later. This is a sorry state of squash here. These are winter squashes, spaghetti squash. These are honey nut squash. It's just a single serving kind of a butternut. I just love those. They're very good. There's a few on there. This is a sunshine. It's called Sunshine. It's a hybrid. It's a very, very nice winter squash. These are my cucumbers. I had a very late start. If you've been following me, I always have some kind of a problem with little critters biting off the tops. So this is probably the third planting, and I had to protect them with a netting, actually a cage type. I have some zucchini and some yellow squash. I've gotten yellow squash, but I haven't gotten any zucchini yet. This is a pride right here. You will look at some of these onions. These first onions here, like this one, this is, I think this is a Walla Walla. These are a yellow, or excuse me, if you can tell, these are a white onion. They're still upright. These have fallen over. I should be picking those out of the ground within the next week. Here are my Pattersons, first year for those. The majority of them have bent over And then I went along yesterday and knocked the rest of them down. And I will be harvesting these within the next few days, so you can stay tuned for that video. I'll tell you all about onions. On this trellis, I have more tomatoes. The first three here are Celebrity. It's a wonderful tomato. It still has some new growth, new flowers coming on. And then on here we have Amish Pace, which seem to be growing leaps and bounds over the trellis. They're also coming on. I have probably enough tomatoes to start my first batch of sauce for this new season. Here I have raspberries that have all been, they're just about done. So I'm going to have to go through and take down the dead canes. The dead canes are yellowing. There's what gave me my second crop, one fall last year and then spring this year. Anything that is green and flourishing will give me a short season crop in the fall. So I've got to cut those all out, give the other ones plenty of sun and room. And I had strawberries in this bed, which I've taken all out. Don't think I'm going to grow strawberries next year. And this is some more Pattersons, I think. I do have a couple reds here. These are all just kind of leftover plantings. And I didn't have space over there in the main garden. These here are Leeks, and they seem to be doing fine. Got to get in there and weed a little bit in there. These here are huckleberries. Now, I thought huckleberries were red. Garden huckleberry produces masses of fruit in a short season. They're mature when there's a dull black color that should be slightly soft to the touch. They're good to eat at this point, but when they're cooked and sweetened, it brings out a fruity blackberry-like flavor. These are from Baker Creek. I'm hoping for a nice crop, at least enough to make a batch of jam. One bed here, as you can see, this was my garlic bed. I'll link that video up above. And I've amended this with a little chicken bedding. And this is going to, I'll probably throw some more compost on top of this also. Cover it up and just let it go until next spring. I am going to be moving my garlic over to this side. So I will be harvesting nearly everything out of this. I probably will leave some leeks here. I will leave a link to my video on leeks so you can see what I do with those. Because you can leave them in the ground and overwinter them and have them fresh in the springtime. Or if the ground thaws a little bit throughout the winter, you can harvest them right out of the ground. Now I do have sweet potatoes, and they're in these very large, gosh, I don't know, 35-gallon tubs here. I have 5 that are on the front of each one of my raised beds along here. They're all doing very well. Last year and the year before, I had quite a problem with voles. I haven't seen any activity, so maybe my plans to circumvent their activity has worked. They all look pretty good. There's a little scorching on some of these here, but I don't think that's going to impact what's going on underground. And here's another. Now here is my pumpkin hill. The mounds up here are all pumpkins. They aren't doing as well as I thought I would. They do have a drip irrigation system to each mound. I just gave them some fertilizer. I have a couple watermelon plants down here. You can see I have one here. Am I seeing that? Where is it? I have one watermelon on this plant. Oh, no, I have another underground. Oops, I even have another one over here that I didn't see. Looks like it's in the weeds. And then another one here. Here it is. These are sugar babies, so they're kind of a small, round, seedless watermelon. But we'll see if we get any pumpkins. I'm not, once again, I am not sure that I have much hope for these because I don't see anything forming yet, and we're already to August. So it's going to be a little bit dicey as to getting a crop in on these. Somehow I knew I'd be back under my bean arbor. I look up and there's some beans that need to be picked, so that's what I'm going to be doing next. If you haven't already, subscribe, and thanks for following me on this video. Hope you got something out of it. Give me a thumbs up too. That helps. Stay tuned for a couple upcoming videos that I'll be doing. One particular one on onions. I promise it won't make you cry. So until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.